Hello, everyone. I'm Chase Tobin, host of the Three Pillars podcast, and I wanted to wish the United States Marine Corps a very happy 250th birthday. As a Marine Corps veteran and as someone who has drank the Kool-Aid, got the jacket, been there, done that, and absolutely loves everything about the Marine Corps, from the bottom of my heart, happy birthday, warriors. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for your sacrifice. Thank you for your service. And thank you for upholding 250 years of tradition, of standard, and of excellence. And I couldn't be more proud of the Marine Corps today and what they've accomplished, and just the fact that they have been unwavering in their resolve to keep a high standard for recruitment, everything like that. Today, I want to go through, I know we haven't done an episode in a while, but I felt convicted to come on and share a little bit about what it means to have the core values of the Marine Corps: honor, courage, and commitment. I know we hear Semper Fi all the time, but honor, courage, and commitment are really the pillars of being a Marine and also of being a man. I've said this many times on a podcast. I'll say it again. If every average person would just hold themselves to a little bit higher of a standard, what would the world look like? It would be incredible. But that's the challenge. I can't do it for you. Nobody can do it for you. You have to set that standard for yourself. So I've just got something real quick I want to share with you guys. Something I worked up, talking about honor, courage, and commitment. I'm just going to just throw it out there for you guys and then kick you all off. Have a fantastic birthday celebration. Hoorah. So, honor, courage, commitment. There are words that go beyond a simple definition, words that are lived rather than spoken. For a United States Marine, 3 such words stand as eternal sentinels over every action, thought, and conviction. Those words are honor, courage, and commitment. They're not merely part of a creed recited at boot camp or etched in a wall at the command office. They're the very marrow of what it means to be a Marine. Yet these same virtues, when rightly understood, they transcend military life. They are timeless principles that define what it means to be a man, a leader, a protector, a servant, and a shepherd of others. These 3 words form the bedrock upon which character is built. They're not soft ideals, but forged steel, tested in the fires of hardship, sacrifice, and faith. They're the cornerstones of leadership, family, and faith, the unshakable foundation upon which a Marine stands, and the moral compass that should guide every man who seeks to live a life of purpose. So what is honor? It is the standard of a man. Honor begins with truth. It is integrity manifested in every word spoken and every deed performed. It is the willingness to do what is right even when no one is watching. For a Marine, honor is the moral compass that ensures his uniform is not merely worn, but it is earned. It governs how one treats superiors, peers, and subordinates alike. It is the standard by which trust is built and maintained among those who may one day depend on each other for survival. As a man, honor begins long before the uniform is ever donned. It begins with a father's word, a husband's promise, a friend's loyalty, and a citizen's duty to his community. It is in keeping one's vows even when the world seems to have forgotten what promises mean. Honor compels a man to live above reproach, to be the same in public as he is in private, and to stand unwavering in moral conviction even when the culture around him rewards deceit and compromise. For Marines, honor is not optional. It is the standard. It shapes how we carry ourselves in and out of service, how we handle adversity, and how we represent the institution that has entrusted us with the title of Marine. Once a Marine, always a Marine is not a slogan. It's an eternal charge to never tarnish that name. Every Marine knows that the Eagle, Globe, and Anchor are not just symbols. They're sacred emblems representing every man and woman who has ever borne them. To dishonor oneself is to dishonor them all. As a man of faith, honor takes on an even deeper meaning. It means understanding that every act of integrity is not simply for one's reputation, but for the glory of God. The Apostle Paul wrote, "Whatever you do, work heartily as for the Lord and not for men." Colossians 3:23. Honor is living in a way that reflects divine truth. It is recognizing that integrity is not situational, it is absolute. Whether leading a platoon or in the field or guiding one's family through life, the honorable man bears his responsibilities with humility and accountability. Courage, the fire in the soul. If honor is the compass, then courage is the will to follow it no matter the cost. It is the ability to confront fear, uncertainty, and adversity with determination and faith. For Marines, courage is not the absence of fear. It is mastery over it. It is the refusal to retreat from one's duty even when odds seem insurmountable. Every Marine has faced moments where fear was present, on the battlefield, in the chaos of crisis, or in the quiet doubts of the soul. Courage is what enables him to move forward regardless. Physical courage is often the first kind we think of. The bravery to advance under fire or to protect one's brothers in arms at all costs. It is noble and it is essential, but moral courage is equally vital. It is the resolve to stand for what is right even when it means standing alone. It is the strength to challenge wrongdoing, to hold oneself accountable, and to speak truth in the face of complacency or corruption. As men, courage is the crucible in which our true character is revealed. The courage to lead one's family through uncertain times, to raise one's children with discipline and love, to protect one's marriage, to admit fault, and to seek forgiveness. These are acts of courage no less noble than those performed on the battlefield. The modern world often confuses courage with bravado. True courage is not loud or reckless. It is steadfast and principled. It does not seek attention. It seeks righteousness. It stands firm in faith when the world mocks belief and refuses to compromise integrity for convenience. For a Christian, courage is inseparable from faith. The scriptures are filled with men who demonstrated divine courage. Joshua leading the Israelites into battle and the conquests, David facing Goliath, and Christ himself facing the cross. Each act of courage was not born of pride, but of obedience. Likewise, a Marine's courage is not about seeking glory. It is about fulfilling a duty greater than self. To live courageously as a man means embracing hardship rather than fleeing from it. It means shouldering responsibility when others cast it aside. It means protecting the weak, defending truth, and maintaining composure. Conquest, but conviction, commitment. That is the enduring anchor. Honor defines the standard, courage enacts it, commitment sustains it. For Marines, commitment is the relentless pursuit of excellence, discipline, and loyalty. It is the fuel that keeps the Corps moving forward regardless of the obstacle. From the earliest days of boot camp, a Marine learns that commitment means never quitting, not on yourself, not on your brothers, not on your mission. It is seen in the Marine who trains long after others have gone home, and the leader who sacrifices comfort for his men, and the veteran who continues to serve his community long after his time in uniform. Commitment is what binds generations of Marines together. It is what ensures that the standards of today are worthy of those who came before. As a man, commitment means faithfulness. It's faithfulness to your family, your calling, your faith, and your responsibilities. It means doing what must be done even when no one thanks you. It means waking up each day and choosing to be consistent in your values, your work ethic, and your love for those entrusted to your care. It's very easy to make promises. It takes true strength to keep them. Commitment demands endurance. Life will test every man's resolve, whether through financial hardship, illness, doubt, or personal loss. The committed man does not crumble under pressure. He perseveres. He may bend, but he does not break. His word is his bond, and his loyalty is not for sale. In marriage, commitment means standing by your spouse when the world urges you to walk away. In fatherhood, it means being present, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. In faith, it means walking with God even when the path grows dark. And in leadership, it means setting the example through consistency, discipline, and love. Commitment is also about legacy. The Marine who trains the next generation understands that his duty is not just to fight, but to prepare others to carry the torch. Similarly, a man must think generationally. What example are you setting for your children, for your sons, for your community, and for those who will follow in your footsteps? Will they remember you as one who endured, someone who stayed the course, someone who lived their values without compromise, or not? Something to ponder. All three of these are interwoven and make a strong foundation. Honor without courage is hollow. Courage without commitment is fleeting. Commitment without honor becomes blind obedience. Together, these three virtues form a complete man, a warrior, a leader, and a servant. They balance one another in perfect unity. The Marine Corps understood this synergy from its inception. A Marine is not trained merely to fight, but to embody a code of ethics that elevates him above the chaos of war. In this triad of virtues that separates mere soldiers from warriors of character. They are as much about spiritual and moral warfare as they are about physical battle. As men, we're called to the same higher standard. This world needs men of honor who can be trusted, men of courage who will lead, and men of commitment who will endure. These are the kinds of men who hold their families together, who build strong communities, and who defend truth when the world drifts towards moral decay. The Marine in uniform and the man of faith share this mission. Both understand that life is not about comfort, it's about calling. Both recognize that greatness is not measured in wealth or acclaim, but in sacrifice and in service. And both know that the true strength comes not from pride, but from humility. To understand honor, courage, and commitment through a spiritual lens is not to see them just as human virtues, but divine mandates. Each of these reflects a facet of God's character. Honor reflects God's truth. When a man lives honorably, he mirrors the integrity of his Creator. Courage, it reflects God's power. When a man faces fear and still moves forward, he embodies faith over fear, the same spirit that raised David against Goliath and Daniel in the lion's den. Commitment reflects God's faithfulness. The Lord's steadfast love endures forever, and so too must our devotion to what is right and what is true. For a Marine, faith and service are not mutually exclusive. They are deeply intertwined. The Marine learns to depend on something greater than himself, his training, his team, and often his faith in God. The man of faith likewise learns to trust in the sovereignty of God above all else, knowing that even in the fog of life's battles, his path is guided by divine purpose. This is a legacy that is truly worth upholding, ladies and gents. When a Marine earns that title, it becomes a permanent part of his identity. The discipline, honor, and loyalty instilled in him never fade. They become woven into their very soul. The same must be true for every man who strives to live with purpose. The world we live in has grown very cynical towards virtue. Words like honor and commitment are often dismissed as old-fashioned, yet these are precisely the qualities that our culture is starving for. The man who embodies them becomes a beacon, a living standard that reminds others of what is still good, noble, and true. A Marine never stops serving. Whether he wears the uniform or not, the values he carries continue to shape his actions. He becomes a leader in his workplace, a pillar in his community, and a protector in his home. The same courage that carried him through combat now guides him in life's challenges. The same honor that governed his conduct and uniform now dictates his integrity as a husband and a father. And the same commitment that bound him to his brothers in arms now binds him to his family and to his faith. To conclude, honor, courage, and commitment are not mere words. They are a lifelong oath. They are a covenant between man and his maker, between a Marine and the Corps, between a father and his family. They are the traits that distinguish the fleeting from the eternal, the ordinary from the extraordinary. To live by them is not easy. It requires sacrifice, it requires discipline, and it requires humility. But the reward is immeasurable. A life of purpose, a legacy of strength, and a heart that stands unashamed before God and man. The Marine Corps teaches us that the measure of a man is not found in his comfort, but in his conduct. It is not what he claims, but what he lives. A true Marine and a true man understands that his life is a mission, his actions a testimony, and his faith is that unshakable foundation. When all is said and done, may it be said of us, Marine or civilian, that we lived with honor, we fought with courage, and we persevered with commitment. That we left this world a little stronger, a little braver, and a little more faithful than the way we found it. For in the end, that is the legacy of a Marine. That is the calling of a man. And it is the standard we must uphold until our final formation. Ladies and gentlemen, go forth and be great. Stand firm on your foundations, live with honor, courage, and commitment. And as always, Semper Fidelis. Happy birthday, Marines. Happy 250th. Cheers to the next 250. God bless you all. Tobinator.